A little flammable. Sweet. Welcome back. Still picking away at Project Z-71 here. This is part 3 of the body mount repair. We'll get into some good stuff on this one. So hit the subscribe button. Make sure you stick around. We'll be getting into that actual body mount repair soon. So to start off part 3 here, I covered some of this right at the end of my last video. For those who've been following along, you've already seen this panel. So got some things made up, got some things prepped up. Missed a lot of this on camera. Didn't really put much mind to it because I've already done this on the passenger side. So it was, if you're interested to see how I built the inner quarter, just watch some of my previous videos. I cover it pretty well. It's about 40 hours worth of work, start to finish, on the last one that I did. So this one will probably be a little bit quicker, but I've already got it pretty prepped up pretty well. And today we'll be stitching the outer cover on that one. So I've also been working in here. The inner rocker panel is just about ready to go back on. My body mount is about ready to be fixed on the B pillar here. I've got some interesting things for that. So I searched the internet, almost every GM parts website there is out there. I found what I think is the last new old stock body mount for an Avalanche, but they're the same, I believe. So short of going to a scrapyard and cutting one off a truck, that's as good as it's going to get for me. And I've also got some other things that I made. I've actually got a hole cut in the floor here, so I don't know, just a couple ideas of how I'm going to get around that. Might just weld all of that together, and then this will go on the bottom side like so. So a lot of work to do yet right there, but I'm pretty confident I can make it happen. So anyway, we're going to finish the back up real quick, get this one hung up, and make it look like this again. So we'll get started. Alright, so last time around I had some weld through primer that I got at Napa. This time I got this at CarQuest. It's a 3M weld through too. So we will try this one this time. I've got this panel pretty good scuffed up. I'm not too concerned about the outside yet. We'll do the rest of it when it's on the truck, but I got the inside of it pretty smoothed out. Gonna put some etching primer over top of it and do the weld through on all the seams. So I've got all that stuff off there pretty good. This is similar to what I did last time, if not the exact same. So one thing I gotta do yet is punch some holes in here for the plug welds on the truck. I've already done the bottom and the back edge. So I'll go ahead and clamp it up real quick. We'll see where the rest of these fall and go ahead and drill them out or use the punch out tool that I have. And then we can put the paint on it and weld it on the truck. Coming soon. I don't think I'm actually going to clamp it up there. This actually should suffice. Oh man, that thing fits good. That thing fits really good. So, yeah, right there. There it goes on there. I'm pretty excited. This is actually where I started the fix 5 years ago when the truck got smashed. I didn't have anything better to do at the time but start picking at this corner where it was rusted the most. So to see this go back on, that's pretty sweet. And we're well on the way to getting towards the body mount repair. So get this drilled out, painted up, hang it on there. Safety first. whole panel because of how small this area is. But just be careful with the welder, and it should be okay. I know I need to grind a little bit more of this out for the panel to fit just right, but I figure I'll go ahead and start cleaning up the paint right here. Get a good clean job. Time has come. So that 3M primer is pretty expensive, but boy is it worth it. Unfortunately, these probably have lost their that one didn't lose its bite. That one lost its bite, but I plan on just going all the way down while I weld it, so it's not that big of a deal. So just like the other side, I made this flange a little bit bigger because I didn't know exactly where it's going to fall. So we'll cut that off right there. I think we're ready to rock. That's the only part that I'm a little concerned about. It doesn't look just right, but should be able to make something happen there. The rest of it looks pretty damn good. Alright, dude. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think we'll pop a couple spot welds on. And, oh yeah, she's solid. Yeah, big girl solid. Alright. Okie dokie. Woo! Woo! That's hot. Oh, that's what I get for welding them fucking sandals. There we go. I think we found our settings. That one was pretty damn good. Alright, so I'll just put a few more on here just to kind of hang this up, and I'll do this seam last. Kind of long. Oh yeah. You like that. Alright, that's not bad. I need to put some boots on my dumb ass after I rub toes off again so I can really cook this thing on here, but I like it. And I got boots on. Feel better. So I got that thing turned up on the C setting. It might be a little bit much because this is, I believe 20 gauge what I made this corner out of, so it might burn right through that, but it likes the seam, so I'm just going to leave it there and see what happens with this. That weld through primer throws a lot of sparks and splatter, but the shit works good though, so let's see what happens. Cool. You like that? Not bad. Oh yeah. Whew! Yeah, it's certainly interesting. Holy shit. A little flammable. Sweet. Yeah, that one was fucking perfect too. God damn. Well, shit. So I suppose I should go ahead and grind it down. One thing at a time. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I did a little bit more screwing with this. Didn't have it really lined up so good with the roll pan, but I also noticed since I have the body off the frame rail was actually hitting the roll pan, thus I couldn't match the body line there. So I don't know if it was so much that I had this clamped too far in or the fact that the frame was just in the way, but I ended up cutting it loose and pulling it back as much as I could to make it fit a little bit better. And I wish I would have checked that first, because I had really welded that on there. You can see them welds burnt through pretty good. So I got a little bit more cleanup to do there. Go ahead and finish the weld seam here, which is so far is looking really good. And had some cleanup work to do in there, a couple more welds, and we'll start moving up into here hopefully before too long. I did take a minute to try some more spot weld cutters. So I got the inner rocker pretty loose, but I got a good way to go in there. I was thinking about cutting this out because there's a panel behind here I need to replace for where that A-pillar body mount is underneath this. So I did find floor pan online somewhere. They sell this section here where the spot welds are, pretty much just the whole pan. And I think there was a few other panels that I wanted to buy. I know I want to get the wheel arch and just cut out a little piece of the wheel arch. I think they're like 40 bucks or something, so it's not terrible. And then I'm going to make some of this. Of course, that dog leg panel that I bought only comes up to right where my shit is rusted out still. So got some plans. Keep pressing forward here, and I don't know, see how far we can get. Okay, so another thing that happened yesterday is I ran out of wire, so I re-spooled it, and I actually went and got a new nozzle, cleaned up my contact tip, put a new one in there, just kind of did some welder maintenance, see how much of a difference that really helps here. I'd officially got a whole roll of wire in this thing, so guess we'll keep adding to it. Go ahead and try to finish up this thing here. Alright, I'm trying not to get too overzealous with this part here, especially with how thin it is around there. I don't want that thing twisting at all. I got my welder turned up pretty good too. Most of the welding is done except for the seam. Suppose I can do some grinding while that cools off a little. I'm gonna let that cool off. I don't want to put any more to it just yet. Alright, so last time on the other side I did 2 or 3 passes of welding, and it took a lot of grinding, a lot of heat in the panel. So this time around I think I'm going to just try to keep stacking these over top of each other. It's going pretty good so far. I'm just trying not to overdo it. But I think if we can stack them pretty good, then maybe we'll only have one more touch up with the welding instead of 2-3 more rounds of welding. So I got the welder turned up pretty good still. The new contact tip definitely makes a big difference. Just keep plugging away at it, I guess. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. Not building a rocket ship. Fixing a 20-year-old truck. Alright, man. Alright, let that cool down again a little bit. Might take a grinding disc to it now. It looks pretty damn good. Got them stacked up pretty well. Not bad. Not bad. It's not terrible. It's pretty wavy, but I was being pretty aggressive with the grinder, so hopefully we can fix that up with some Bondo, some fiberglass. I only missed one little weld right there, little gap in it, but it worked pretty good trying to stack them. I might have missed another little spot there. Still got a little bit more grinding to do, but it's looking pretty good. Fill some of this in with some fiberglass. This kind of got mangled up back here a little bit, moving it. So I figure I'll go ahead and show you how I'm holding the sucker up too. So there's a nice cross member here in the back, and I've actually got the truck sitting on this 10-ton stand, and then I've got the frame obviously on a jack stand, but I got a good bit of room in there. I plan on taking it up a little higher. Got to get through that B pillar and A pillar body mount. You know, that's what this video series is really about. But I was playing with this body mount here and the bolt, just trying to get an idea, and the truck isn't square to the frame, so it's not going to line up perfectly, but you can get the gist. I think that's going to work out pretty good. So I want to get some more of this solved before I hang the rear inner rocker. I want to make sure that the overlap, they actually overlap right about here, looks good. So I need to get the rest of this one off, and that might take a little bit longer to facilitate that, but I've already cleaned up in here a little bit. This body mount isn't perfect, but it's not completely rusted through like the other one, so I'm just going to leave it alone. So it's pretty much just, I would imagine, similar to other Tahoes, being a Midwestern vehicle. So it's only about to here where the rust is bad. The rest of it is actually still in pretty good shape. I did do the rust proofer on it when I had it apart the first time, but it's not absolutely terrible. So anyway, I've got the 10-ton stand out back. I've got a 6-ton stand here. It's actually loose. It's not even really holding anything. And then I got a cinder block and a 6-ton stand with holding the A pillar up there. So we'll get through it one piece at a time. I think this A pillar is probably going to be the hardest one to fix. So I figure I've already got the parts for the back. I've already made one of the back panels. I just go ahead and finish the back. But it actually is holding it up pretty damn good. It's nice and solid. I trust it. So one thing at a time. That spot weld cutter seems to work really, really well. So I think I do need to cut this open though to get in there behind it. Not exactly sure what that's supposed to look like because mine was completely missing. So I might have to separate this here so I can get in behind and take this loose the rest of the way. It's only got the spot welds up top, and it's really not in terrible shape. I could cut it and save this front half, but I really need to get to the back side of this, so it's going to be a little bit of a detour. Most people would just be able to cut it and go. So they sell a few different kinds of rocker panel covers. I believe they sell one that's, if you feel your truck, you can feel there's a little bit of a step right here where the seams met. I just kind of hacked this shit off, but I'm pretty sure they sell a rocker that's just the square part, and you leave some of this B pillar here. I believe it's roughly where I've got it cut, and then it'll meet up again. So I'm gonna have to trim something like that down because I do have the dog leg. So it's getting there. It's starting to get into the good stuff, man. It's gonna be sweet when it's all together. And I'm sure there's not too many other people out there going to this level to save their vehicle, especially something like this that could just be thrown away. But one thing at a time.